If you are in the personal injury or property damage space, we got to have a conversation. I've been doing marketing for injury firms, all types of law firms for the last 15 years. Over the past year, I have watched the economics of personal injury marketing and advertising shift so much because every single attorney in the country, I don't care if they do immigration, family, whatever, will take MVA cases. It is like the crack cocaine of legal cases because of just how it flows, how much staff you need. It's insane. We, as marketers, know that. That's why if you log onto your Facebook or Instagram, you are just getting bombarded with car accident ads nonstop. The competition is out of control, and everything online, it's just like physical real estate with houses. It's a supply and demand marketplace. The more advertisers and more money is being pumped in, the higher the cost. The economics are on the verge of breaking for 99% of MVA or personal injury law firms. So what I want to talk to you about is property damage. Now, I'm not going to get into the semantics of handling cases, building the team. I don't care about that. I'm not a lawyer, I'm a marketer. I'm here to make you money, and I'm here to talk to you about what's actually happening in your industry. And I notice, we do a lot of SEO for clients, a lot of website builds and development, and I see a lot of property damage stuff on personal injury lawyers' websites. Now, they just have the content up. They're usually like, I don't want to serve these cases. Allow me to pitch you. Just bear with me. Let's talk economics. Let's talk dollars and cents here about the costs of doing marketing and advertising in the personal injury space versus the property damage space. Now, again, I know there's differences on the back ends in terms of revenue, in terms of conversions, all that type of stuff. I'm not going to get into that. You're the attorney, you figure that out. But I want to talk to you about why, if I were you, I'll be putting my money into property damage. So what I've got here is my good friend ChatGPT here helped me put together some very simple forecasting and conversion cost comparison. I fed it my data, right? So I have internal data on a lot of this stuff, and ChatGPT helped me lay it out for the purpose of this presentation. So just for reference, right? We're not actually going to use this data, but just showing you the Google cost per click for general personal injury terms, MVA, etc. Cost per click is around $300 on average. On average. You go to LA, you go to Miami where I am, we're talking 400, 500, right? So this is on average. Property damage, $10. So we're talking about a, 30% or 300% difference just in the cost per click. Now, I'm not going to use this data because I'm going to talk about Facebook ads, but that's purely an illustration point to show you how many people are trying to advertise for these keywords in Google. That gives you an understanding just at a very surface level of the cost walking in here. So now let's talk about Facebook, right? So these are not related metrics. This is purely like hey, what's the cost for the neighborhood? This is a different platform. We're doing Facebook ads for about 50 personal injury firms and about 20 property damage firms. The Facebook cost per lead on average for personal injury is about $250. Property damage about $50. So about a fifth of the cost for property damage leads. Now, that's not as drastic as the Google, which I'll address in a second for why that is, but it's basically because every law firm in the country is trying to advertise on Google. There's very limited real estate, so the costs get inflated there much faster than they do on Facebook. On Facebook, what we're competing against with is a lot of lead generation firms that are pumping money in. They're scraping money off the top and then reselling you the leads, which you keep paying for, by the way, which is awful for your industry. It's a whole nother conversation. But the sales conversion rate from a Facebook lead for personal injury is about 5%. For property damage is higher, it's about 10%, right? And we see some cases as high as 20% for property damage when we hit the right offer, meaning like cast iron pipes in Florida crushes it. We see as high as 20% conversion rate. So cost to acquire a case, personal injury, $5,000, property damage, $500. Now, the economics of that alone are astounding. And honestly, if you're getting $5,000 signed cases off of Facebook right now in the MVA space, you should take that. And I know a lot of you are sitting there being like, oh no, that's crazy, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's what we're advertising at scale here, guys. We're doing millions of dollars a month and advertising for clients. We've seen this number go up from $2,000 to $5,000 in a matter of 6 to 12 months. It's that drastic. And it's because so many people want these leads that it's not from other attorneys advertising, it's from lead generation firms advertising. All these lead generation firms are pumping all their money into MVA because they can knock on your door and say, hey, I've got MVA leads, do you want them? And you're like, oh my God, yeah, I'll take as many as you got. I don't care, send them to me. So just letting you know that you are the problem in this industry, right? Like, one, stop buying leads from lead generation firms. Just stop. You're killing your industry. You're hurting your economics. You're literally eroding it. And you're also making Facebook get to the point where Facebook's like, yeah, we're not going to allow this anymore because you completely destroyed the platform. But that's a whole nother rant and conversation. Let's stick to the topic here. Property damage is much lower because nobody's advertising for property damage. There's no lead generation firms that are advertising property damage leads. And I get it because the economics on the back end are different, blah. I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about the numbers. And again, why this works. So again, average case value, and I know you're gonna give me like a line of whatever, that's not necessarily true. Call it 25K for personal injury, 20 to 100. Let's just call it 20K for property damage, right? And again, I understand. I know you're sitting there fuming, so mad that I'm a marketer and I don't know this, but I do know this because I work with hundreds of law firms and I have access to this data too. I understand that there's nuances in a closing and how much they collect and timelines, etc. And that car accident cases can be worth way more. I get that. But the point is that this is what we're looking at from an economics point of view, typical resolution. This is a little bit high, right? We're probably looking at more like 6 to 9 months, 2 to 6 months, right? In the scalability here, again, this is what I care about the most. Extremely saturated, property damage is wide open. Like, it's literally, guys, I'm telling you, it's crazy, 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 crazy. I'm gonna say it 3 more times. Crazy, 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 how much easier and faster it is to do property damage marketing than it is personal injury marketing. Like, personal injury, you gotta throw 100K at a campaign and it's a roll of the dice. Property damage, I can guarantee you leads and signed cases, quality cases. I can guarantee that. That's how good we are at this stuff. So when we look at a forecasting here, again, using Facebook here, let's say you want 100 leads. And with personal injury, you kind of have to get to that point of 100 leads off of a campaign. Otherwise, it's just not going to return because you're just not going to get enough at-bats. There's so much garbage in the injury space. And the reason why is because you see the ads anytime that you're like, hey, if you've been in a car accident, you could be entitled to compensation. What do you think that's going to bring out? Do you think you're going to get qualified leads with that messaging? Guys, let's be real here. I sit down and have these conversations all the time and they're like, oh, the leads are so bad. It's like, because we're dangling checks in front of people's faces. Like, and that's what this industry is eroded to. Like, because we have to, because why? Because if you don't, then you're not even gonna get the leads. You're not even gonna get the at-bats. So what's happened in the MVA space is that, man, just like what's happened in this country in terms of the erosion of ethics, right? In the 1950s, people used to get mad because Elvis was shaking his hips. Open Instagram and tell me where we've come as a society from that, right? Like, it's the same thing with marketing and advertising. Like, they erode over time based on the results that are needed to get. So like, I understand there's qualifications when it comes to a car accident space. Injured, insurance, police report, went to the hospital. Now it's just like the ads are just like, car accident, ? So like, we're saying anyone that got in a car accident, I know you're sitting there saying like, well, we don't want to, you should, like, I'm just telling you, like, that's what's happening. I see the ads, I have managing the ads, I'm telling you what's happening. Like, I'm telling you, hopefully you're listening and nodding your head and not shaking your head at me. But with property damage, it's different. Property damage is different because what we're doing is we're actually creating demand in the market because there's so many people that are sitting in homes that are old, that are eroding, that are actually getting screwed by homeowners insurance. And like, they don't even know that this is a thing. They just don't even know. Like, it's not the same type of messaging. It's not the same type of audience, right? We're talking about people who own homes. It's a very different type of audience than people getting car accidents. Let's just call it what it is. So again, we go through the cost per lead and the amount that you actually have to spend to basically make the same money. Let's say the revenue is the same. Let's say both of these are, okay, I use even the low end here too, but like, we can even double this, right? We can make this higher. But the fact is that you're looking at more revenue with a much higher return on ad spend in terms of the investment. And this is really what it comes down to too, right? Like, for personal injury, to get 100 leads at a good CPL of 250, like, that's a solid cost per lead. And we're not even talking about qualified leads. We're just talking about like total leads here, right? $250 per lead is pretty good off of any platform, but especially off of Facebook. You're looking at 5 times the investment, right? So if we're talking about any sort of level of scale, I know most of you aren't getting out of bed for 5 MVA cases. Like, that's not moving the needle for you. You need 10, 100, 100 of them, 50 of them if you really want to hit some sort of pace and scale in your industry. So just keep on multiplying this number in terms of the ad spend needed. and it doesn't necessarily get better as you spend more in some markets. If you're in California, man, forget about it. This cost per lead is double, right? So you're looking at double the amount versus a $5,000 investment to potentially make $200. Now again, you might be saying that number is really high. Most property damage cases are $1,000. Still, right? Like not every single case is gonna hit big, but you're on the smaller cases, right? Even if you don't wanna service them, you're repaying the marketing. I'm talking to you from a marketing and advertising point of view, guys. I don't care about the legal side of things. I know your business, I understand what we're talking about here, but like I'm talking about what it takes to be successful with marketing and advertising at an honest, open level. I'm not cold calling you here trying to sell you SEO services or trying to sell you a website. Right? I'm talking about dollars and cents. I'm talking about making you money. I'm talking about the actual economics of your business from a marketing advertising point of view that nobody wants to talk to you about because they're gonna lie to you and try and sell you something that you don't need, take your money, and you're gonna walk away with nothing, and you're gonna be mad, you're gonna be jaded, you're gonna be in the exact same position that you're in right now. Like, listen to me. Listen to me when I tell this to you. These numbers are real. These are the facts. This, on the personal injury side, is only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. If you have the ability or the want to do property damage claims, I'm telling you right now, you're gonna make a lot more money with a lot less investment, a lot faster. I know this because I'm doing it right now. And I have another video that walks you through the entire process that we use to run Facebook ads for property damage, to get leads, to get signed cases for less than 500 bucks. Our clients are literally printing money, and that's why I'm up here spitting profusely trying to get this information out and tell the world that, like, stop trying to get MVA cases unless you're willing to spend $500,000 a month. Stop coming to me and saying, I'll do anything for MVA cases, I'll spend 25. It's not gonna happen anymore. It's not going to happen for you. I'm just telling you. And I'm the only one who's gonna tell you that. I know you have other people that are telling you that they can, and they're putting a guarantee on it, but read the fine print. You're an attorney. That fine print has a load of BS in it. There's no person on this planet, I don't care what their ad says, that can guarantee you 30 MVA cases or you don't pay. Think about the economics of that. You think they're just gonna give you $1 million or you don't pay? Like, think about it, guys, come on. You went to law school for a very long time. Stop falling for this bullshit. I'm just letting you know, all right? Like, I'm telling you the dollars and cents facts here, whether you wanna hear them or not. So, we've got plenty of content on this on our YouTube channel. I'll link to it from below this. It will show you exactly how we get property damage cases for less than $500. If not, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.